to see that there's like 300 plus megabytes per second on the download. The upload's around 11, which isn't the greatest, but it'll get the job done for sure. So I don't think we're gonna have any issues here. I'll wait to see some confirmation. I want to wait for mine to load up. I have my phone that I have to look at it on the side instead of my actual tablet. So, but Julie just got a notification, so I think everything's working fine. She's gonna click on it. Yeah, mine just switched over too, so I think we're good. It looks good. It's in full screen. Yeah, I think it's all good. Awesome. Good morning, David. Welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 1 month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. Ben being Arichi, good morning and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Arichi says, good morning, trying to bail hay, but too much moisture, so just waiting for alt season to go to the moon. Hey, we got a great indicator today. We talked yesterday about opportunity, and when we came on here, we said, you know, don't miss out on the macro view because of a micro movement. It was a great opportunity. I gave reassurance in a 9-minute video yesterday. Even though I couldn't go live yesterday when I got here, I still did a video for 9 minutes. And I just touched base on that. And it's been spectacular this morning right now. Absolutely spectacular. I have no idea how many people are in here. Okay, because it didn't update on my phone, so it wasn't showing me the new comments. I knew... 61. Yeah, I knew there was more than 13. So 73. I wonder I wonder why it's not up. Oh, there we go. It just updated. But yeah, I'll do my best to say hello to everybody real quick, and then we're going to get into it. Ethereum's over 4,400. We're looking for alt season here in the immediate short term. This has been absolutely phenomenal. Yesterday, we had 1.5 billion that was announced, and this is huge news if you haven't seen it yet. Let me go back into the Telegram. It's so important to be in the Telegram. I've been able to live through the Telegram. I love my morning breakdowns. I love being able to tell everybody about what's going on. I don't know if anybody even seen that one, but it doesn't even matter. The point is it's there. But this came out yesterday. Trump's World Liberty will be buying 1.5 billion worth of altcoins to establish a new treasury with NASDAQ listed alts. And then it says, and then remember we had the dump yesterday. We had about a 5% drop across the board, which was predictable with small bear flags, but it was nothing to worry about. It was the liquidity grab before the next push up, and it's starting to happen right now. Eric Trump said on his verified account, here we go, Alt5, and Alt5 Sigma, their verified account posted this. It's official. We're announcing a 1.5 billion offering to establish a transformational WLFI Treasury strategy. World Liberty, Zach Witkoff, and Eric Trump are set to join our board of directors alongside Zach Folkman as a board observer. So, as we say, whether you like Trump or not, you follow where not the big money, but where the agenda's at. So, alts don't get talked about a lot in the sense because a lot of the mainstream coverage will be in Bitcoin and Ethereum mainly for retail. But I think alt season this time is going to be so much better than it was in 21, and it's going to emulate 2017. And I really believe that. I think this is going to be the alt season of alt seasons. And I'm not just saying for XRP, because XRP's already started its alt season long ago. I still think we get up to $5.49 at least. Maybe $6.79 in this run. But what you'll see most likely in other alts, not all of them, but certain alts, you'll start to see them run maybe 3-4 times as fast as XRP, basically because of price point now. You got XRP at $3.19 compared to something like IOTA at 20 cents or Algo at 25, or ZIL at 1.1, VeChain at 2.4. It's just things are way too cheap. So I'll go over and talk about every position I hold. I'm not going to say how many tokens because that's not important. I don't hold more than everybody and I don't hold less than everybody. I hold somewhere that's appropriate for me. I don't have the eye wandering of everybody else's and I wish I had $1 million of this. No, I don't care about that. I like building up and I'm happy where I'm at 5 years into almost this journey. So if you're on day one, you can't be where anybody else is at on almost year 5. So, this is, I think this is important. CJ2 Pilot, good morning. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year at the I Told You So Bad. Says, Tom, thanks for taking time while on vacation with the family. Thank them all. Or thank them as well. No problem. Yeah, Julie was very accommodating with this. Define Group, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. I greatly appreciate you being a very trusted mod and here and a very important admin in the Telegram. Like, the admin, I would say, in the Telegram. There's several of them, but I think you are the admin. You're the #1 guy. Not to say you're any better than anybody. I'm just saying, as far as the protocol and stuff goes, you go above and beyond. Zachary, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Has it not started yet, or am I? No, it hadn't started yet. I think I was like 8 minutes late or so. Marichi says, I'm subscribed on here on TikTok, but I definitely need to get it on the Telegram. Yes, you do. Go on to my YouTube channel. All you have to do, Arichi, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor. You need to do this. Go here and then click on my post on my YouTube channel, and you're going to see a Telegram link. Just scroll down. I'll share. I'm going to share the Telegram link. I know no, I can't do it right now, but I can. You know what? I can't do it on here, but I'll share it on my phone. I'll share the Telegram link right now to members of Tom's Army just so you get it, Arichi, so you can see it. How about that? And anytime somebody joins Tom's Army, I'll start doing this as well so that they don't have to scroll and do all that junk. But if you're part of this community, it's so important to be part of this part of the community. Like, out of all parts, this is stuff that I can post in real time, even when I can't get to YouTube. I use it as my Twitter. I don't like Twitter because they censor me. So I just use that as my Twitter, if I'm being honest. Or X, or whatever you want to call it these days. XYZ. I'm sure it'll be something different later. But yeah, I'm going to go to the post. I'm going to do a members only post. Channel, All Army, Tom's Army. And we used to do this for everybody, but once we got to 375 people, we just realized the splicing of accounts became much too great, so we had to put a protocol behind it. So then we figured members of Tom's Army pay it forward, and everybody part of the community who wants to talk at deeper lengths can be a part of it. So hopefully I'll see you over there. You've been a part of this for a very long time, and I think you would benefit from it. I really do. I just wanted to pull the comments back up. So I have, because it's weird because I'm not at home, so I don't have my touchscreen next to me. So now I got to put my phone up, and I hate it. Only because there's so many issues that happen when I'm trying to watch my own live. Because if you guys think you get censored when you're watching me, you should see what they do to me trying to watch my own stuff in my own account. The Gatman, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. Crypto Cooter, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army 6+ months with the XP Predictor. Eddie, good morning. Zachary Whited and Brian Crow, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens, along with Alex Carbonelli. Ringneck, good morning. Mosey here, welcome in, along with UK Phil. Thank you both for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year at the I Told You So badge. Russell, good morning. He says, what's up, Tom? It's been a while. XRP did me right, brother. Thank you for your leadership. Oh, I'm so glad that you were part of this early. Russell was here in the early rounds, so he's definitely benefited from not only trusting in what I do, but trusting in himself to make the decision long ago. We're blessed, Russell. We're blessed because we've seen something so many missed so early on. And it wasn't even that early in 2021. It was just opportunity. Jay for Mix, welcome in. Tango, good morning. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XP Meteor. Mike, good morning. And thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. We're about to get some rain here, too. It's going to rain all day pretty much here until 4 o'clock. So hopefully it doesn't rain on us. But about 11 o'clock, I might, this could get interesting. Cannabis Podcast, welcome in. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor. Justin, good morning. Ethereum about to hit all-time highs. Absolutely. Longs and shorts losing their pants. Yep, that's why we don't do leverage in this community. Only spot. Even 2x will get you kicked in the dick. And it'll make you lose strategy. At least in spot, you're adding, building into what you want. I'm very happy with what I currently own as well, McMichael. And thank you for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XP Predictor. Here, I want to show you guys what's behind me real quick. You won't be able to hear me talk. I'll do a pan view real quick from the good I can right now, so you can see what I have behind me or in front of me. Where the hell's my camera? If I was farther down there, you'd be able to see more, but I don't want to take the chance of you guys getting cut off. I know I did put a picture, where was it, in the Telegram last night, which I thought was a great picture of what we're doing. 840. Yeah, it's a great view out here. Last night the sun, it was setting, so, and you guys would have had to been in there with what the fine put in there. It was funny. But yeah, it's a great view out here. That's definitely something. But Michaela, she graduated high school. She's 18. She's going out to Western in the honors program for 4 years. So she's leaving home in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So one last vacation with her, and Scarlett is going to middle school and T's going into elementary. He's special needs, so it's going to be an interesting year in elementary. But he overachieved. He got to where most kids who are special needs couldn't, and he got into the regular class. He's got an IEP, but he exceeded expectations beyond and beyond and beyond. Big Dog, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. Watching from the beginning, that's a great choice. Frustrating to see XRP suppressed. It's not suppressed, though. Why is it suppressed? We're at $3, guys. I hear this all the time. It's not suppressed. What do you mean? We've gone from 48 cents last November, and 10 months later, we're at $3.19. I think the suppression is being lifted. It's no longer $3,500 to buy 10,000 tokens. It's 32,000. Suppression's being lifted. This is where psychological warfare has been played against all of retail by influencers who get paid to push the bullshit narrative of it can go to X amount of dollars. And while you're waiting for it to get to, I'm never going to sell till it gets to 5. Okay, whatever. So you bought at 34 cents. You're not going to take anything at $10 or anything at $50. Like, come on now. That's not smart trading. Everybody's saying, I'm just going to hold it to 1,000. You're never going to get paid off. You're never going to get paid off. If it goes to $1,000, I'll be the happiest person in the world, but they're not looking to make us all billionaires off of little. You think they're looking to make you a millionaire off 1,000 tokens? I doubt it. Even at $100, it's a stretch because of how many tokens there are. People always forget that, but it's true. You can get close to Bitcoin's market cap. You're not going to have to get close to the price. So I tell the truth, but like, don't miss the price appreciation and don't undervalue what XRP's at $3.19 when its counterparts like ADA was at almost $3.21 and it's sitting at what, 80 cents or some other. Its counterparts are getting crushed right now. No, those are being suppressed. You want to see real suppression? Algo sitting at, why don't I hear this? Everybody bitches and moans about XRP being suppressed. Why don't you come on here and say IOTA is being severely suppressed at 20 cents? Algo's being severely suppressed at 26. XDC's unbelievably suppressed at 8.9 cents. Why don't I ever hear that? It's always XRP suppressed. The hell it is. It's at over $3 while the rest of these are at pennies on the dollar. That's real suppression. That's real suppression. No, the phonies and cronies make you believe XRP suppressed even though it's 10 times the price, 20 times the price, with 10 times the tokens. That's not what suppression looks like. It's quite the opposite. Altcoins outside of XRP are severely suppressed right now for the most part. Unbelievably suppressed. That's why I will continue to say if you are investing day one today, I wouldn't put a penny in XRP. I wouldn't put a single dollar in XRP right now. I would put it elsewhere, 10 times out of 10. I would never put it in XRP at $3.19 when XDC is sitting at 8.9 cents. If that makes me a crony XRP future millionaire, well, listen to this. Listen to this story. I started out with XRP with $3,500. Then was able to build up before alt season started and put a little bit into DGB, XLM, and maybe I think one other, I don't remember. DGB, XLM, there might have been one other. But I was able to build it up a little bit. But because of what XRP did and turned 3,500 into like 16,000 by the time I cashed out, and then what I did in this bull market, XRP by itself has afforded me the opportunity to spawn out from XRP because we got the second chance at 38 cents. And I bought $5,000 worth because the position had bettered myself from 21 because of XRP and understanding some of the others, not as deeply as now, but I knew XRP was the GOAT at that time. And in long terms, I still think it is because of what it's done. But listen, that's afforded me the opportunity. That 5,000 turned into, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm high. Let's get to some chart analysis. My friend, don't you want to understand psychology? So you're going to look at the chart and not know what the hell you're doing? Chill out and stay the course. Let me finish my conversation here. So that gave me the opportunity to buy in all the IoT and ISO tokens I hold today because of what XRP did. So it's going to make me a future millionaire, and it's going to spawn off different branches as well. So now we sit in XYO data, GRT, which is the graph, DENT, BAND. You know, we also have Algo, IOTA, XRP, XLM, XDC. Yes, I have the bunch. ZIL, VChain, HBAR, XLR, and XRP Healthcare. I don't have Epic. And that doesn't even count the mining stocks we've done. So it affords you an opportunity, but you can't just get to somewhere and you also can't be like, oh, this isn't doing anything. This is part of the analysis. I'm telling you the stone cold truth. If you want me to skip ahead, well, you're going to miss out and I'm not going to do it. The beauty of it is it's my show and I really don't give a shit what the audience tells me to do anymore. When they're being too aggressively, hey, we want you to skip past what is real important just so we can get to the nuts and bolts of the charts. If you want that, just watch my shorts. That's a little disrespectful when I'm giving you the inner guts of how to trade the market properly and then you want me to skip ahead. But anyhow, Justin Wilson, good morning. Ben Graham, Lonzo, good morning. Silver Days, XRP, welcome in. Let's see. Justin Wilson, good morning. The King is coming. Good morning. Don't forget to give thanks to Lord and Savior Jesus Christ on this beautiful Tuesday morning. AUW, good morning. Yeah, I caught a couple panfish. I had a nice bite, but I don't have the proper rig. There's no stores here to buy it. What I need is a crappie or perch rig so that the sinker can sit on the bottom. I can have two hooks sitting a foot or two off the bottom, but I don't have that ability. I should have came better prepared. Let's see. Mike B, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Ant token ripped 2,000% yesterday. Is that a sign of what's to come? This is my I don't even know what ant token is. And no, you shouldn't expect 2,000% in a day. That's not what's going to happen in alt season. Maybe over time. Long snacks, look on my YouTube channel. I posted on there a link. You have to go to the post. It's a members only post, which you get because you're in Tom's Army for over a year. I greatly appreciate that, along with CJ2 Pilot. JNL, good morning. Taking my time to get through these comments since I was being rushed. Wales, Josie Wales, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. The only people getting rich quick in this game are people who have a lot of... So they're not getting rich then. They're moving up just as you are, percentage-based. They just have more money to put in. So if you have $10,000 and you make 10%, you make 1,000, it's no different than the guy who has 100,000 and makes 10,000. It's no different than the guy who has 1 million and makes 100,000. It's all within relation. You can be that person. I used to be the guy who was making $350 on 10%. Now I make $5-6 grand on 10%. You know, and next time we used to be the guy who made $5-6 grand on 10%. And now we make 50,000-60,000 on 10%. We're moving it up. Just, you have to do it properly. Everything comes in a rotational tug. You can't, the ones who don't make it in crypto are the ones who are trying to do it all at once. Leverage, think they can do it all in one cycle, think that they can do it all in 2 days. They have these overzealous expectations, so they never sell. I've been doing this 4 years, and basically nobody does what I do. I buy the bear market, sell the bull market, even XRP when it's done, and then I rinse, repeat back into the bear market like I did this time, and now we're going to wait until the bull market's done. We're just transitioning from bear to bull right now in the alts. Let's see. I think that's pretty good. Anthony Venegas, welcome in. Let's see. Gospel, good morning. No way, Josie, good morning. Just making sure I got Miss G Scott, welcome in, and I'm so proud to see you in the Telegram as well with Mr. Scott, Mr. G Scott. Good morning to you, and I hope you're having a blessed morning so far, both of you. And thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Raleigh, I do not let the haters ruin my affect me. I just speak more boldly towards the haters, and then I get back to peace. Let's see. Tom, can you explain why you do spot versus leverage? Yeah, because I don't want to get liquidated. And I don't want to... Listen, when you do spot, you're building towards an investment. When you do leverage, it's no different than starting the casino-like atmosphere. Think about it. I got $10,000 to spend, right? Or you and I. Oh, well, we can put 2x because now we've got $20,000. Oh, well, why stop at 20? Now we can do... But anyhow, when you do it like that, you don't own the position, period. Even if you have to do it in the futures market and you have to do it at 1x because that's the only way they offer it, at least it's your position. You don't have to worry about it getting... It's yours until you sell it. It's just like spot. You just can't move it off the exchange. So make sure it's on an exchange with fire blocks like BITUNIX. And then you have a custodial watching over it. So then you're fine. And if you don't know about fire blocks, look it up. So that's why. Once you start trading, once you get into 2x, even at 2x, it becomes gambling. It hits the part of your brain. And then the other thing that's the problem is that now all of a sudden your spot position isn't good enough. You're on a 10x leverage, and now all of a sudden that's moving up at 10 times the speed. And it's great when it's going up, but when it's going down, it can unravel very quickly. I've seen more people than I care to tell you about. It's that have lost it all. But yeah, if you're asking the difference between spot and leverage and not psychologically, leverage, anything over 1x, you can lose the position. If you're on 1x in a leveraged market because that's how you can buy a token, that's fine. You still own it the same way. You just can't transfer it off the exchange. But with spot, it's your token. That is your token. You can't be liquidated out of it. Now, if the exchange goes away and you don't have fire blocks as a custodial, you'll lose it. Or if there's not a different way. But I'm so excited about right now. I can't even tell you guys. Like I almost switched my plan yesterday, and I had to have the wandering eye because I had sold out of XDC, as you know, and I was going to flip on that 5% drop more into IOTA, but I decided you've already got 40,000 tokens there. Put the 50,000 tokens back in XDC. I had a great, push down to that 8.6. So I had a momentary decision here. Do I put it back in here on XDC or continue with IOTA and make it 6? And I decided no. I'm going to put that $5,000 basically back into XDC instead of furthering my position from 40,222 IOTA. That was already good enough. It's already good enough. So, but these are excellent questions you guys are asking. Let's see. No, seriously, great questions because there's a lot of people that are first day traders. Like, that's a great freaking question. And then if you're in the leverage market because you have to buy a token, like we have to buy IOTA in the leverage market on BITUNIX. It's not offered a lot in the USA and a lot of places. So on the leverage market, I just buy at 1x. And then I use AI Vora, which is in there for my ZIL and VeChain. Even though VeChain's on BITUNIX, I gave ZIL company because I keep those two in the same category. So I have $5,000 on AI Vora for ZIL spot, and then obviously they have VeChain. I just bought it on BITUNIX and sent it over. Well, I didn't have to buy it because I had it. But the fees it's the same as BITUNIX. Their fees are basically nothing. It's just they're an AI integrated exchange and they don't have fire blocks yet. So, it's up to your interpretation. But it's a good place to buy ZIL. A real good place to buy ZIL on spot. But yeah, getting into the technicals now, I appreciate everybody's patience going into this. But now that we've built the general dynamic about why it's so important to build your portfolio, certainly it's starting to rain a little bit too. How many minutes are we in here so far? 25, not bad. Not bad. So XRP, to look what we're looking at here in the technicals. So with XRP, I mean, we're building something spectacular here. We already know the breakout target is up to $3.60 in the short term. And what we've built here is a falling channel on the consolidation, it looks like. And these are extremely bullish consolidation. I mean, the most bullish consolidations you're going to get. Just like a descending wedge, you'll a lot of times get. This is a very bullish setup here. It's a falling channel, nothing more, nothing less. And once you break out of it, it's going to give you that short target, which is very easy to measure. You just measure the channel. And the short target is going to bring you, and we know the technical target out of that pattern that broke to the top. And here's how you do some more in-depth analysis. Ready? So I'm going to take one of these lower numbers, this one, because we went the other way. And if it starts raining, I'll simply shift, a little bit towards the inside. $3.40 would be short target, right? But now let's clone this. Whoops. I'm going to show you guys how to do some micro, medium term, and macro within a micro sense. So now we're going to have this right here. See this little flag that was created off of, but we had this descending pattern that we broke out of. Although you can make it bigger because we have more evidence now. Because this is supposed to be more like, you could make this bigger, but I don't advise it. We did this from a daily sense. So in the daily, it's easier to see why we did this for anybody new. So in the daily, you had something like this. We pulled off a resistance. Actually, this could be higher if we do it like that. But we did it like this because we had a resistance top. And you see how we consolidated all the way through. Then we had our breakout target. Just so you know why it was like that in the interim. But then we had our target. Honestly, it might be a little bit bigger than... No, this is right. Nah, I can live with that. It might be a little bit higher, but I can definitely live with... No, that's fine. I'll live with that. But now we created this. So we created a small flag here. So once you get on top of this, so you're in that range. 363 to 367, depending on... With that little extension. 366. Yeah. Oh my God. So not too bad. I mean, these are the upside potential here in the immediate short term. And then after that, we know we've got 420 off of the previous target. And this pattern cycle, we've got 549. Oh, it's 638. I said 678. But 549 and 638. 549 was my technical target into this bull run. So, same target like how I had Bitcoin at 122 initially. And then we upped it to 143 with the consolidation that it's in. So these are your micro levels. And then if you fall down, you got 306 and 298 underneath, but we're back over 320, which is important. That's a huge layer. Now that if we can hold this, then we would target $3.28. And then over the top, you would start to target the numbers we showed. So, yeah, the rain's definitely starting here, folks. And of course, I'm just outside of the cover right here. Let's see if I can move this over. Hold on. I don't know if I can. I prefer to stay outside, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to move this. I might. One of the reasons it's good to be at the gym is you can move stuff pretty easily. Here we go. Now we'll be unaffected. I noticed that there is this overhang here, so I just moved us under the overhang. So... But right now, Ethereum at 4,410. This is incredible. For any of you who haven't been part of Altseason, you're going to eat your heart out soon. Mike, remember, and thanks for being in town for your first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. And I can give you guidance, but I'm not a financial advisor. And this is for entertainment purposes only, remember. So it might align with what I'm saying. I might look, we might look smart in this community. But it takes time. But my personal objective still, and yeah, I wish it wasn't up 4.5%, but it's only come back to where it was yesterday. So me personally, if I can only pick one, I'm starting with IOTA. It's a mainframe token with the Internet of Things, and it's got so much integrational qualities. If I'm a new person, I'm not even looking at XRP's direction. I know it sounds crazy because I love it. But I would look at XTC, IOTA, because those are two different parts of both different between ISO and IoT. So I would start with IOTA, XDC purely for pricing. I would probably take a hard look at VeChain off the top of my head. And I like Dent and Band and Data and XYO for Internet of Things, for Data and XYO, but they're less known. But I would seriously consider XYO at 1 cent. That is on BITUNIX as well. Dent and Band, but those are different segments. Like those are, if you don't understand that part, Graph is great, but again, it's a different part of our normal discussion. But yeah, I would take looks in those directions. If you're a fan of Ripple and you want to start investing in something like we did with XRP, I have 10,222 tokens of Axelar. Close to where it's at right now, a little bit lower. But I'm trying to build into Axelar like I did with XRP when it was in the same range. You know, and there's the confirmed partnerships with Ripple and all this other cool stuff. But in XRP healthcare but you know, only having a mind, I don't want you to, because you're a newbie, you're only sticking to 3. You got to stick to 3. You're not having the wandering eye. It's going to be too much. So my personal suggestion, you take different segments. IOTA for the Internet of Things. XDC for exactly what we were doing with XRP and or XLM. But I think XDC's got better potential than XLM. And then for the third, it's tough, but I would probably stick with something that is in the Internet of Things sector. So or the IoT. So in my opinion, if you could only go 3, I'm going IOTA for sure, XDC for sure. And then if I had to do, it would either be between VeChain or probably Algo if I had a gun to my head. I would probably gun to my head, I'll go IOTA XDC. But I would hate to not have VeChain in that equation because it's so strong in the Internet of Things. I would probably swap. Man, it's so tough. I would hate to be in that position, but you're not going to want to have 15 tokens if you're a newbie. When I first started, I had 3. And I would only talk about XRP. I refused to even look at Bitcoin when I first started my YouTube channel because I needed to have a laser focus with my audience. Now that we've expanded, you can see the capabilities of what I can do. You know, but that's my personal suggestion. I would not have more than 3, personally. Jeremy, you're welcome, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens along with XRP Lemur. Lonzo says, I'm excited to be getting back to stocks. Hopefully soon I'll have profits from crypto. I'm aiming sometime Q4. Yeah, and it's good to be in stocks too. Just remember, they're the most overinflated, the stock market, since basically the Great Depression. So be careful in the stock market eventually. Nobody cares about your leverage record. Oh, I see what some are saying. No, yeah, I mean, you have a strategy with leverage, but 90. Okay, so the truth is, if you're just trading spot, 85% of people at minimum lose. If you're just trading in a 1x environment by buying and selling, buying and selling. If you're holding and you understand you play the accumulation game and you're a seasoned trader, in general, if you do the actually accumulate by trading, it gets to like 90 something percent, you win. 85 to 90% you win on average. The moment you switch to 2x leverage or 1x swing trading, 85% lose in 1x. Once you go into leverage, it's like 95 to 97% lose. So yeah, is there going to be the anomalies? I could show you countless times when I've done great in leverage. Am I in any leverage now, including 2x? Not a single one. Not a single dollar is in leverage. Could I have put a few thousand? Sure, I could have, but it changes my own philosophy when I'm doing spot. It always has, because the gambler mindset starts to come in. And then hasn't anybody ever been here when you hold leverage in spot? All of a sudden, your leverage starts to get hit because of a 3% move and you're on 10x. So you're like, oh my God, it's down 30%. And let's just say it hits a stop loss or whatever. Well, now you're selling out your spot positions because your mind's like, holy shit, I got to sell everything. I've had that happen to me more times than I care to admit, just to all of a sudden get my faculties back. Because when your emotions are going, you make stupid decisions. You really do. And to add the endorphins and the gambling part of your brain opening up and getting a signal is even worse. And then I'll be like, holy shit, I got to buy it back. So I haven't done that in a long time, but that used to be a part of me, and I hated it. And then I'd be like, well, what are you gambling for, you dumb mother? If you don't have enough money to put it in spot, you don't have enough, or you have too many tokens. I started to realize about like my problems where I was trying to put in too many tokens or try to put too much into it. So I took the accumulation yesterday and I did strategic stuff. And, you know, I got my positions to a more likable size. Like I was overweighted in XYO, so I have 250,000 instead of 500,000. You know, I have I have 200,000 data, but I was overweighted in certain tokens. And then I just had a couple that I didn't need. And now everything I've said, I have it exactly the way I want it, exactly the way I could have ever wanted and wished for and prayed. I have 40,000 IOTA. I have 40,000 Algo, 10,000 XLM, the 10,000 plus XRP. Right now, 50,000 XDC. I don't even know why I'm saying the numbers, but to give you a couple 100,000 ZIL, 100 and something thousand VeChain, 10,000 HBAR, over 10,000 XLR, 102,220 XRP Healthcare. And that doesn't count the mine. And I have Hashgraph. I have 50,000, or the Graph GRT over 50,000. Dent over 5 million. Band over 5,000. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the way I have it. And if you're watching it right now, you got to hear the positions. I also have large holdings that were afforded to me by crypto. I would flip in the bear cycles into precious metals. And I've got a lot of gold bullion. I have nice amount of silver bullion. And then the mining stocks. The only things I own in the stock market besides my mutual funds, which are in the emerging markets, which are doing great as well. But that's for tax write-offs every year, 7,000. But Pan America Silver is at a 52-week high. I have them, I don't know, 400 or so tokens of that. There 300 and something of that. B2 Gold is at like 1,500 tokens or 1,400 or 3,400 tokens I added to it, or shares. Barrick Gold's over 400 shares. Fortuna Silver Mines is up to like 1,400 shares. Hekla's up to like 15. There's a lot of it that I have, but it branches out. So like it's not just crypto. There's a lot of abundance that was created for me out of crypto. And now I'm utilizing it since 21, the profits when we were in bear markets in crypto. And I pushed my money elsewhere. I could have a lot more than 50 or 60,000, or what is it when you count XRP? 80,000 or 90,000 in crypto total now. 80 or 90, but I could have a lot more than that. But I put a lot in mining stocks, a lot into physical bullion, a lot into my reserves. I fixed up my house after I paid it off. So there's a lot that can be afforded to us, is my point. You just got to stay the course. And when I talk like this, any schlub can come on and tell you how to look at a chart, which most of them can't even do that, but assuming they can, but they're not going to tell you the basics and fundamentals of how to get wealthy. You guys have watched me build a $3,500 portfolio into well over 6 in different avenues now, working for me. Our money's working for us is the point. And you got to have a 9 to 5 still. Sorry. You have to have income. And my 9 to 5 is truthfully YouTube now, I suppose. And just being able to stay on course. Well, I do stuff outside of YouTube as well where I earn money. But that's just byproducts of things I know how to do. But I keep myself busy and have a steady income. YouTube gets me about, on minimum, $2,000 a month. Nothing crazy. Some months 3. But I don't think I've ever been under 2,000 since I started paid subscriptions. So it's given me some. You know, I'm very transparent about making the 2,000. I think last month was 3. Better ad revenue, a lot more donations because we were doing great. But because of all of you the last few months, I built the website. Cost $6,000, 5 years dedicated servers. And I encourage you to go to the website. It's got live API, every single chart known to man. And it starts with the XRP market cap. It updates every second on the second. I paid for the live API, dedicated servers, so that it's lightning quick, no matter how many people are on it at once. And I did it. It's all paid for 5 years right now. And all you have to do, so we're talking about, let's just say we're looking at Ethereum, right? No. Total 3. Because that's the signal for alts, right? The total 3 market cap. Let's go to crypto. It makes it easier when you just go to crypto. That excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum, remember? So here's the total 3. So now what I would encourage you to do, as we're over $1 trillion finally again, and you go into here, right? So go into the indicators, put in the MACD right off the bat. Volume is here automatically. I made it to where volume stays on the live API. It's already built into it. Cost a tiny bit, but it was worth it to keep it live like that. So you get 3 indicators on here, but you'll notice, unlike on your phone, if you go on here, the way I have it built is on a website. So you're using it, even if you're on your phone, it's through my website. So you get the website style. So when you go into the monthly, for example, you can go into this all the way to 12 months by days. You can go 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 30, 45, all the way up to the daily, into the monthly, into the yearly. Notice on my app, if I go into the same total 3, I can go on here. Oh my God. And when you look at what we've built up, we've already projected this, guys. We know how this works. We know where this goes. We already know where this goes is the crazy part. And some of you are new. All you have to do is watch my chart and it will play out over time. Even if we go down, we know the targets, but we know the up targets eventually. So look at this, the difference. So when you go on here, if I want to look at this, I can only do it in the 1, 3, 5, right? 15, 30, 45, 1, 2, 4 hour, daily, weekly, monthly. There's no 12 month. I can't go 12 months on here because it's on my app. I can't do that. There's a lot of things I can't do. So now on the website, I can go on here and be like, well, I want to see it from a yearly sense. Damn it. Why do I want to stop there? Okay, well, if you want to see it on a yearly sense, you go to the 12 months. But I like it in the day, for this purpose, the monthly. And now you see the moving average convergence, divergence. You see the flow? Last 2 monthly candles, or we bounced off of support on the trend, which is the red line down here, and the moving average convergence, divergence. Our price action has bounced off it. As you can see down here, where that green is, where I have this X on the screen, that is where the moving average convergence, divergence, you see a positive flow. It flipped from potentially flipping bearish. It never did. And now the positive flow the last 2 monthlies now is increasing. This is huge signal. Massive signal. The last thing I want you to do is go to the RSI. And we're not going to go into anything deeper, but go into the stochastic RSI. You can go into the divergence or the RSI indicator if you want, but I suggest the stochastic. When you get into the stochastic, we can see now we flip bullish here on a monthly time frame. You want that blue price action to be above that red trend line. We almost went back into oversold, and now we're trying to flip through neutral, which is at 50. And we're at 53.6. These are extremely bullish indicators. Extremely bullish, right? When I say extremely bullish, did I say extremely bullish? Inverse head and shoulders here. Inverse head and shoulders. Already broke out. And we can measure that minor move, which we already have. We know where the minor move goes. But it's we haven't been this bullish, in my opinion, since 2021. Let that sink in. I don't think we've been this bullish since 2021. What does that tell everybody? Guys, 2000, that's why this first target's there. So we'll just, actually it broke up here so we can make it higher. But this target is that first area out of the breakout that we've already broken out and confirmed now. 1.28 trillion, and assuming it moves up, you know, and it doesn't break down this inverse pattern. So we've already projected all of this. Even if it came down, we said, don't be afraid, but it's building the arm out right now over the top. So let's move this. But these are, I've not felt this bullishness. Not even in 21 did I feel this. If you go back to a chart, you have not had this build up since 2017. That 21 surge, for most, was just the hump in the middle of a big W and a big cup and handle that ended up developing. So, I mean, we're extremely bullish right now. outrageously bullish. But we still have to, when you look at this, we actually back tested this. I don't know why it was down, probably because I was looking at it on my phone. But look at that. We back tested Altseason right now. And that's where you get the further target, which I'm just going to move it up. It's a little bit higher. But that puts us all the way up to 1.48 trillion. And if we hold 1.02 trillion, that's your signal. If we hold 1.02 trillion, we are an Altseason, baby. We are on the precipice here of something unbelievable. And I'm so proud to be here with all of you. And this is general analysis. This isn't just focusing on one chart. I'm giving you the old. Okay, so Ethereum right now, assuming that we have confirmed our back test like we did, and I'll go over Ethereum. Great question. Who asked that? Lonzo. No, wait a minute. Who asked that question? Damn it. Kawabunga says, I finally know how Altseason works since this is my first go around and I know more information now. Excellent. And you'll see now that you understand it starts with Bitcoin. It slowly flows into Ethereum and alts simply seem like they get left behind. And then as Ethereum starts to confirm, you start to see the movement happen. And that's what's starting to happen now with alts. They're going to start waking up here in a big way. Who asked that question? I want to give credit. If you, like Michael said, if you want to understand Tom's method well, then you have to invest the time and listen. Absolutely. I've been doing this since March 24th of 2021, and notice I'm on vacation. I don't miss a step. It's as if I'm still at home. I don't miss days. I don't miss time. And some want me to take a break. I can't do it. I won't do it. If I would have took a break, we would have missed the information about the 5.5% drop before it happened yesterday. And then in the moment, I couldn't have come on doing an update for 9 minutes telling you, don't worry, this is all liquidity. Like, this is standard. It's so super macro bullish. It's insane. Who asked that question? Oh, yeah, I'll talk more about algo today, I promise. Lonzo, you're right, too. The way I see where our positions were slowly building a high launch pad for the biggest run. I believe so. After this run, none of you are going to have to worry if you did it properly. Even if you have $5,000, all of a sudden you're probably going to be sitting with at least 50 if you do it right. And 50 changes your life. When I went from 5 to 50, it changed everything. Then it becomes proper investing from there. But Ethereum targeting, LBJ, great questions. And welcome in LBJ Films. I love you, brother. I'm so glad to see you in here. 4,863 is the short-term micro target only. Micro. Off of this setup on the breakout, the micro target was 4,863 after we held 4,170, which we have 6 different times. See, I moved this under here. 6 different times we've held that support in a daily sense. And now that first target's 4,863. The technical target for Altseason initially would be 6,552, but ultimately 7,000. Here, I'm just going to, these are 3 targets above, 6,568 plus, and then 7,061. But I caution you, if we do this properly, this might not be the end of Altseason. This is just, if this cup, which is starting to finally form, remember we projected a long time ago, it goes on top of here. I just put it at the end. But if we project the depth of the cup, right, in totality, we put this on top. Technically, Altseason, if you want to see the grand finale, $7,706 if this plays truthfully. So you're looking at well, it's a little bit higher. 7,000, okay, well, 7,859 would be what we're in time looking for, as it's starting to pour now, as you can hear. This is great to be outside, though, unaffected where we're at. But that's what we're looking for in time. I'm going to get rid of the micros. Oh, no, the micros are still important, so I'm going to put them over to the side. 65 area, 68.40 area. Those are on your way up to know different ways my brain was working. So those, but ultimately we're looking at 7,800. Then if you get on top of that, the sky's the limit. But we are so close to making an all-time high and getting into discovery for Ethereum. It's at that 4,870 is all-time highs, and that's the technical move up here in the short term, which is incredible. So could we have a big consolidation from there? If we do, that's probably where we could get a nice run in alts too. But we have to see the way this overall sets up. But I'm going to wind this down here. It's been 50 minutes. I want to get back to hanging out with Julie, see how the kids are doing, see how Tommy's doing, because he got his morning feeding. But first, I'm going to talk about algo, and then I'm going to be out, guys. Let's see. I'm just getting my mid. Oh, there we go. No, absolutely not. There's no reason to think XRP will get a 10x from here, but you never know. I think realistically, this cycle, you're looking for 549 or 639. But if we can get on top of there, I wouldn't be surprised if we got higher. But my technical target for this cycle was 549. And so 549, yeah, I predicted that from 34 cents. So, you know, so I don't think $30. We don't know how long the run will last. You never do an alt season, but it's going to be, this time it's going to be sustained. I don't think it's going to be like we've already seen. It's not going to be 1 week. It's going to be several months. It could be longer. This could be one sustained push now because of ETFs and just funding that's going in. You got the retirement that can now be pushed into crypto. It's just opening up a extremely, not just myself, but Nick has been doing a great job showing everybody the macro, even with micro, but focusing on the macro, saying, guys, I understand the micro, but this is not the time. I even put in this morning in the Telegram, just an example, underneath my daily talk today, I said, and now things have moved up several percent on the day, but it's still the same message. And then I'm going to algo, and then I'll end this. I said, and it's the truth right now. It's so dangerous to be out right now. And then I said what I own. It's just so dangerous not to be in. Even if you're looking for better deals, it's dangerous not to be in. I said the same thing with mining stocks. And now look how high things are going. I remember when Hecla 1 week ago was at $5.47. I said, this is outrageous, that drop. And I already had 1,000 tokens. And I bought like, what, 1/3 more? Or 400 tokens more, or whatever it was. It was just so cheap. U.S.'s largest single producer of silver. The largest producer of silver. Algo, it's in the ISO. It also, certain countries in the African corridors want to use it just the same way as XRP is using in other corridors, like Asia markets, for example. But they have the utility and the integration to be huge. And Algo has countries that want to use it, just like XRP, and they're already on board. So it's going to be huge, huge, huge points of contention. So a lot of people say XRP is the only one owned by banks, and that it's the grand deception here. I believe XRP is going to use for the grand deception in this cycle, not for the ones who own it from the past cycle or before the cycle started in the 30 cent or 40 or 50 or 70 cent range, but the ones who are trying to get into crypto now are going to buy it at $3.20, not understanding something like Algo exists at 25, or IOTA exists at 20 cents, or XDC exists at just under 9 cents, or ZIL exists, or VeChain at 2.5. You get the picture. Or a Dent exists at under 0.00, you know, or a Band is at 5 freaking cents. Like, people don't understand that, or Axelar is where it's at. They don't understand those deals. They're going to point blank look at XRP and say, this is the best thing since sliced bread, which I like that at 30 cents with where the rest of the market was, and we were right. The rest of the market was behind, in a sense, and was making the consolidation that XRP had already started, which is why it seems so imbalanced. So, but Ripple's not the only one becoming a bank. If you're looking at it from a banking sense, I just showed you guys, Algo has that exact same framework as XRP, and it's at 25 cents with the banking side. The exact same framework. Slightly different with the Algorand network, and you have to look at the inner workings compared to the XRP ledger. but it's almost apples to apples the way it's set up. There's a few of them. And like Western Union and MoneyGram are staying relevant. They are. Swift with the GPI. I mean, there's so much into it. XDC, absolutely. I only was saying algo right now, Defiant, because somebody asked about algo. But XDC, there is, to me, there is no reason to buy XRP with XDC at 9 cents. I'm just being straight up with you. I love algo, and I still put that 50,000, that $5,000 yesterday into XDC at 8.6 instead of putting more into IOTA. And I still am going to put 50,000 more tokens into XDC to make it 100. But, you know, I've seen the value of not having a couple 100,000 XDC, but keeping it to where I can have so many of IOTA and algo and keeping to the plan. And not overweighting in any one thing particular. But obviously I'm overweighted in XRP right now. Simply because it's worth over 32,000 on the 10,000 tokens alone. When the other ones appreciate, it won't be as overweighted. So, yep, Winford, that is huge. Bank of America, Wells Fargo are going to start only allowing wire transfers to crypto exchange at 40 and 35. Yep, it's going to be a small to start. So VELO on the CP group will be doing payments globally throughout the 90% of. See, and that's what I mean. VELO is another great one. Not available where I trade on BITUNIX, unfortunately, but that's another, that's just outside of my scope right now, just because it's not available to me in the way I would like. But yeah, VELO is another great example. But guys, I'm going to go. Pay attention to the charts. I encourage you to join Tom's Army. I don't think there was any donations or anything in this live, so I don't think I have to worry about that. One person joined Tom's Army, or rejoined. But I encourage you, join Tom's Army, pay it forward. If you appreciate the fact I am here all the time, pay it forward for my work. I do it out of the goodness of my heart for 4.5 years, after all. Never missed a day. So please, I'd love to see you in the Telegram. Have a blessed day, everybody. We are cooking right now, no doubt about it. Bitcoin's pushing up. We hopefully will push 126. I know it sounds bad. But that'll also help altcoins push with Bitcoin, surprisingly. And then when the next phase happens, Bitcoin dominance notice is dumped by 0.8%. This is what we want to see. We broke down this rising channel, so hopefully we'll start pushing this 50 or 56, 57 percentile on our way down. We're in a bearish pennant, and by 2032 is the estimated breakdown overall. But 28 it could happen. But 32 is the apex area, and that would bring us down around that 8.5% in dominance. So I think Bitcoin's the biggest Ponzi scheme known to man, and everybody's going to be aware of it in about probably the next 7 to 10 years. So be smart, be aware, and I own 0 Ethereum or Bitcoin.